What's up, guys? Thanks for joining us. Cody and Dallas with the Fans Professionals. I'm going to move you up a little. We are literally seconds from being live on the air, about 34 seconds and counting. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it.
He had recent hip surgery and said earlier in the week he'd been invited to light the flame, although Olympic organizers never confirmed that story.
We've got some trivia on the show. Call in to Jock. 868-6100, 868-6100. Thanks for tuning in.
Also, start thinking, who should be in the Hall of Fame that's not there? Let me know.
I like that. Could have easy.
You're listening to ESPN Radio on Springfield's Sports Leader, the Jock 98.7, KWCO FM, Springfield, Missouri.
The Hall of Fame game is tomorrow, Saturday.
Saturday?
And then there's one on Sunday, too. There's a game on Sunday, preseason.
Welcome to the Fantasy Professionals. I'm your host, Cody Askins, sitting here with my co-host, Dallas Keithley. We're of Secure Insurance Group. We are excited, and football, Dallas, that's in the air, man. It is in the air.
We have suffered through our last weekend without football for 2016.
Until
every weekend.
February.
Yeah. Every weekend for the remainder of the year, there will be someone throwing the old pigskin around. This weekend we've got the Hall of Fame game.
That's right.
We've also, I believe, and I'm speaking off the top of my head here, so I could be wrong, but I believe there's also a preseason game on Sunday. Do you, how much preseason football do you watch, Cody?
Well, by my fantasy football performance, year in, year out, you would think that I watch every single minute. But that is not always the case.
It's starting early, folks. It is starting early. Now, I, as I've said before on the show, and I'm sure everyone that's listening has listened to every show, so I'm repeating myself, but I don't watch preseason football on purpose. I'll watch some of the highlights, stuff like that, because you're going to see guys, a guy will go off and have a great game,
right,
but you never know if he's playing against a second-tier defense, you know.
Sure. Yeah, so, it's not something to base your season or your draft on. But yeah, you're right. The Hall of Fame game, this Sunday, August the 7th, Green Bay at Indianapolis, 7 o'clock.
Very nice. We have a great show lined up today. We are going to have a gentleman that we've had on the show before, one of my favorite guests, Mitch Sanderson from The Score, is going to come on later and talk to us about running backs. We're going to talk about our top 5 running backs
today. A little
today.
Duel, a little debate.
Yeah, and I'm kind of starting to feel, I'm the dad that never lets his kids win at anything, but I'm almost feeling like letting you win today.
Well, by your age, you could be my dad, so you know what? I guess that applies here.
Age and other things. But, anywho, some news this week. My first article, I tried to find some articles that hadn't been, already dragged through the mud. This first one is one of my favorites. I am not an Eagles fan. We're both Cowboys fans.
Absolutely.
And as I was reading this, have you noticed that like several of the other radio hosts, other hosts on the air, will not back a team on purpose? What are your thoughts on that? For example, I won't mention any names, but other hosts, other big famous radio hosts, and they do it for a living. I understand that.
Right.
They will not back a team. They don't support a particular team.
I think you will agree. We want to, if we're a supporter, we don't want to hide it. We want to be honest. We want to be transparent. And you know what? We are some of the biggest Cowboy fans in the Springfield, Missouri area.
Well, yeah. So I said all that to kind of preface this article. Howard Smith of USA Today wrote this article. He said, and the title is, "That Was Dumb. McNabb rips the Eagles for drafting Wirtz." And when they drafted Wirtz, that was one of my favorite draft picks in a long time because I think it was one of the dumbest draft picks I've seen in a long time. They went up to get him, and you can say, well, and it's nothing against Wirtz. Here, let me read you. If we remember correctly, to preface the article, the Eagles just gave Sam Bradford or Wentz. I'm sorry, I've been saying Wirtz.
No worries.
Eagles gave Sam Bradford a multi-year extension. They also gave a 3-year, $21 million contract to Chase Daniels, Missouri's own Chase Daniels.
Well, and Sam Bradford was so good that, you know what, you might as well extend that contract out, keep him with the Eagles. Cowboy fans are happy.
Well, and what I'm thinking, they must be thinking is 2 dumb moves make a smart move or something. I really don't know.
2 negatives equal a positive.
2 negatives equal a positive.
Well, they're high in the draft. Carson Wentz is he's a good player.
He
played at a real mid-major, almost low-major school. I even thought it wasn't even Division I because it's like as close as you can get to not being there.
Never seen him play. But Donovan McNabb said, you sign Sam Bradford to a multi-year deal and give him big money. Then you trade picks to move up to number 2. That was dumb. McNabb told Dan Levy. I mean nothing against Carson Wentz, but why would you do that? That's just a bad business decision from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, it makes you think that they are, not that they're giving up on this season, but that the long-term picture is more important for the franchise of the Philadelphia Eagles than it is short-term. By the way those things align, you've got you signed Sam Bradford to a multi-year extension, as you said. You inked Chase Daniel to another 3 years, $7 million a year.
And Chase Daniels, I think Chase Daniels is a great backup, and I think that's he knows his role.
I don't even know if I agree with that.
Well, he's
truthfully, I mean
I may be being too kind.
He's okay.
Yeah,
he's okay.
But
he's a Missouri boy. But
he is.
He's okay.
But I love the move, being a Cowboys fan.
I'm sure you
now,
do.
to be fair, I was extremely happy with what the Cowboys did, but I did not like having the number 4 pick this year. There was nobody that stood out to me.
At least they're making some moves. I mean, yeah, the Cowboys drafted Elliott, but you know what? If you look at, and I'm as big of a Cowboys fan as any, when you look at other teams and the way they've stacked their teams and spread out their talent, and I don't know where the Cowboys spend their money. I have no clue. I mean, I guess Romo, Diz, and offensive line. I mean, that's it.
And a lot of rehab, personal bodyguards, stuff like that. We can say that because we're Cowboys fans.
Right.
You can say. Let's get on before we start.
That's where all Dez's money goes, is keeping him out of trouble.
Absolutely. Another story before we get called homers. Antonio Brown. We wanted to get to this story last week and we just ran out of time. Earlier last week, Brandon Marshall came to Antonio Brown and he wanted to make a bet with him. He said, I will trade, he said, put up your Rolls Royce against my white Porsche for who has the most yards. Well, this week, Brandon Marshall got his answer. Antonio Brown said, first off, Brandon Marshall don't own a Porsche. That Porsche was actually a Jets car, Brown said. Tell Brandon to call me when he's for real. And then he said something. He said, maybe he could buy my fans dinner every end of the day that ends with a Y. And a couple things I saw here. Number one, that's a cop-out. To me, Antonio Brown, put your rolls up there.
Well, you wouldn't think he would need to prove himself after having Antonio Brown has 1,834 receiving yards last year to Marshall's 1,502. I mean, Dallas, we're looking at 300, and I'm as big of a Brandon Marshall fan as any. He's an athlete, he's a stud, he's a great receiver. But we're looking at 332 yards less, and you're going to call someone out to make a bet.
I love it.
I like the fact that he's doing it. It's pure entertainment. It's fun. It's good. But he doesn't have the recent statistics to back it up.
So you're just proving me right. Antonio Brown, step up, take his Porsche. Yeah. If there's nothing to worry about, step up and take it.
Well, the reason, another reason he won't even do it. He says that it's not even Marshall's Porsche. He says it's owned by the Jets.
I tell you what. Marshall, and I haven't seen his portfolio, but I believe that he could go out and get him a Porsche if he really.
You would sure think so.
And for the publicity, maybe the Jets would allow him to give that Porsche away. I don't know. But the second thing I see though is Antonio Brown is doing now. My kids will tell you I love dad jokes, and. Making dad jokes. Antonio Brown tries to make a dad joke there. Give him, maybe he can buy my fans dinner every day that ends in Y, and it just failed miserably, Sure. So I'm a little bit offended. As a dad, I'm a little bit offended that he tried to make a dad joke, and he's given, and I don't know if Antonio's Brown is a dad, but he's given, dads everywhere a bad name. Now, if he wants to challenge me to a dad joke off, we can go all day, and I'll take his Rolls Royce. I'll put up my 2004 Jeep, and it's mine, Antonio. I can put it up there with confidence.
The Jets don't own it.
Very nice.
That's a cool article. Just to spice it up a little.
I love it, man, and
it's fun to see.
Brandon Marshall has been very active this offseason, saying that Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback this year. I love Brandon Marshall this year.
He's trying to almost verbally win them a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
When we know it's not going to happen.
No, I'm not saying they're going to win a Super Bowl, but I think Brandon Marshall will be a stud wide receiver in fantasy this year.
Antonio Brown will outdo Brandon Marshall by more yards than he did last year.
Boy, what kind of car you got? Because we could put those up. I'd almost take that wager. But another story here. Kevin White of the Chicago Bears came out this week and kind of made an odd.
Hey, this is by Mitch, who's coming on later in the show.
It's Mitch Sanderson's article, absolutely. Well, let me just read it to you. It all started with Marcellus Bennett. After he left the Chicago Bears, Marcellus Bennett, the article says, lambasted, I can't say it, Cutler with the worst quarterback in the NFL label. He felt compared to share a previously unreleased quote from the June article with receiver Kevin White. Marcellus Bennett came out and said that Cutler is the worst quarterback in the NFL, called him several choice names, all this stuff.
Which thank you for not using on the air.
Yeah, Dwayne is smiling over there, so I want to come on next week, Dwayne. But then Kevin White comes out and he says he's just a great guy. We need to clean Jay's name up. He has a bad rep for no reason, and I don't like it. I came in and everyone was telling me Jay's a blank. You're going to hate Cutler. I was like, I want to get to know the dude first, and kudos to him for that.
Sure.
He says it's just not true, and then he says Jay is like the pretty girl that doesn't wear makeup and doesn't go out, so nobody really knows that she's pretty. I can think of a lot of other ways to tell people that, to get my point across, that Jay Cutler is better than people think. Saying that he's the pretty girl that doesn't wear makeup and doesn't go out. I get it, I guess.
Well,
we're talking about it.
He's always been talked about huge because of his, he'll throw a couple interceptions a game, it feels like, and almost lead the NFL in interceptions. But I mean, from a fantasy standpoint, from a game management standpoint, with the occasional flashy pass and the occasional decent game, he's not bad.
No, if I were a Bears
way
fan,
worse quarterbacks.
If I were a Bears fan, I would hate him because the game is never safe.
Right.
Of course, you're never out of a game either because he may come in and throw 4 touchdowns in a quarter.
He can get hot.
But as a fantasy player, you might as well plan on 2 to 3 interceptions a game.
He's someone you can pick up really late.
Yep.
And he'll put you up.
Great for a bye week.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20 points a week. And in a lot of standard leagues, that's okay. We like to see around 20 points. So.
Yeah. Here was another article that I was sad to see. Mitch Sanderson also wrote this one. He said
Mitch has been busy, man.
Mitch
has been busy.
Our show would be kind of void without Mitch,
Look at Mitch go, man. Mitch at the score.
Chiefs agreed to term with Nick Foles. And as a Cowboys fan, I didn't want to see that. I really wanted Nick Foles as a backup in Dallas.
Well, sure, because Romo doesn't have a lot of time left.
No.
He just doesn't.
Well,
He's 36.
I don't think Nick is the future. I think Nick had a couple seasons ago that was an anomaly, a flash in the pan, if you will. And so, but
Nick is better than people think.
That's true.
I was hoping we would get. I felt like he would be as good of a backup as you can get in our league, and I was hoping the Cowboys got him. The Kansas City Chiefs can tell all the Cowboys fans, hey, thank you.
Yeah,
Chiefs, you're welcome.
Well, let me ask you this. This brought up this question for me. If you're a backup quarterback, where do you want to play in the NFL?
Ooh.
For me, the first.
I'm going to be a backup.
If you're going to be a backup,
well, right now
I know what's coming.
I wouldn't be a backup, but you know what? I'd love to play for the New England Patriots on a backup, especially right now.
The second one that
Jimmy Garoppolo's got a pretty good little deal worked out there.
Was Denver, because you're behind Mark Sanchez. You know he's not going to be there all year.
And a young quarterback. That makes sense.
Good team. But yeah, it makes you wonder why you would pick that over the Cowboys.
Right. And we've got another article coming up as soon as we get back from this break. We're going to talk about Terrell Owens. Could he still play at the age of 42?
He thinks he can.
We will talk about that when we get right back. You're listening to the Fantasy Professionals.
We didn't do it. We didn't do an ad. come in with, what are we going to do?
It's panic time.
Oh, we did that. I should
Just
have
ask
done
you when that new
So we'll
building
do,
is completed, and you haven't even started
we'll
yet.
start
Well,
with
don't panic.
417
Call the name you know.
Okay.
General
Then
Steel.
we'll go into Cody.
You've known General
Okay.
Steel
Do a
for
trivia
decades,
question
and
and
you
talk
know
about-
they'll save you about half the
You need to
cost
keep the
and
second
about
one
half the time of
semi-short.
conventional construction.
You
Did
get
you know
pretty
that
good
General
on
Steel
third.
has provided
Man, that went
buildings for some of
fast.
the biggest
Oh, my
names in
God. We're
business
not
and
gonna have to
government?
go
And did you
too
know
deep
that
in all
General
of
can
them.
provide pre-construction?
Hey, thank you guys for joining. Thanks for watching.
Give us a call. Who do you think should be in the Hall of Fame? We're going to ask that next. We're also getting ready to do trivia. I don't know why I'm pointing you like you're my kids, but give us a call.
I'm going to move you guys a little bit. Again, thanks for tuning in. Hey, please go like our page, share this stream. We have, you guys have done a great job of watching, following, subscribing, liking, sharing. Please continue that. Thanks for all of our fans that tune in on a consistent basis. We really appreciate it. We've got Emery Blackwell, Eric Sterrett, Sylvester Lane, Justin Hughes, and Ty James, several others. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
Tastes like real iced tea. Twisted tea, hard iced tea is not here. Tastes like real iced tea. Cool, refreshing, smooth with a kick. Twisted tea.
Gentlemen, start your engine. Race over to
So,
Top
okay, you come in with the Cody and that.
98.7 Fantasy Racing Challenge.
Let's do this. Let's, here, you got your
Village
pin.
in prize and the grand prize trip for two to
So we're going to do,
2017
we're basically
500.
breaking here.
That's the
We'll do
Fantasy Racing
this.
Challenge at Jock987.com.
Then let's move First National
Brought to you by
Bank
Village Inn locations in
to
Springfield,
the end of
Arizona,
segment
and
3.
But no need to pay Sam. Breakfast
Want
is
to move that
served
to the end of segment 3?
Yeah.
Ready for a different cleaning service?
We're-
With
we're
quality
basically
clean janitorial
breaking
services, you're never stuck with
right
a
there.
long-term contract. You can cancel
Move then to
anytime
the end
with
of
30
segment
days
3. You'll do
notice.
James
And Quality
Construction.
Clean is
Then we'll
affordable.
talk
In
with
fact,
Mitch
Quality
in
Clean
segment
hasn't
3.
raised their rates for existing
So
customers
we'll do
in more than
this,
7 years.
this.
Quality
Yeah,
Clean's
let's make sure
employees
we
are
list
highly
the
trained and wear uniforms,
417
so you
line,
always know
Cody,
who's
and
in your
I'll probably
business.
down in the
Quality
second
Clean.
Yeah, we'll
Local
end the
cleaning
thing with
experts
segment
since
with
2003. Learn more about Quality Clean at SpringfieldOfficeCleaning.com.
I'm Brian with Secure Insurance Group. Secure is an independent agency located in Springfield, Missouri. Do you have health issues? Have you been
Secure
declined for
Insurance
life
Group's
insurance?
ads playing right now.
Guaranteed issue life insurance. There are no health questions, no medical examinations.
Give
You're
them a call and
guaranteed
ask for
coverage.
Dallas or Cody.
You can
Let's
purchase
do it.
$40,000 guaranteed issue life insurance. A simple rate for $10,000 of guaranteed coverage for a 50-year-old is $28 monthly. Call Brian
Thanks,
and
Brian.
Secure for a free
That's
quote,
true.
883-9300.
See, that's what I would
Remember to
do
call
if I
us,
was going to do one green show.
883-9300.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, that makes
Here we go.
sense. Welcome back to the Fantasy Professionals. Sitting here with Cody and Dallas of Secure.
That segment went by extremely quick.
That was fast. What do you guys think? Was it fast for you? It was quick.
Was it
Wait,
fast?
no one's responding.
No one's responding.
That was so
868-6100. We're getting ready to do some trivia here in just a minute.
We will
But,
very, very soon. And we're going to get into a little bit of a Hall of Fame,
We're going to talk Hall of Fame
which
snubs.
makes me think of a Hall of Fame type lighting
Very nice.
locally in our area, and they're actually growing and expanding. 417 Lighting Specialist is owned by Jeremy Johnson. You can call them at 655-1283. They are your local LED and electrical service provider. Call Jeremy Johnson today for your lighting and electrical needs. Jeremy actually texted me. He was back on his way from vacation. Oh, I think it was last week, early this week, and he was listening to some of the shows on YouTube through audio. He loved them, and he was going to pass it on to a lot of his guys at the 417 Lighting Specialist. They do a phenomenal job. They work at our office. They're all fantasy football fans as well.
And the thing about 417 Lighting is they're going to save you money in the long run, because a lot, for me especially, I was looking around my house, a lot of my fixtures are outdated, and so I know
Sure.
they're costing me more money.
Right.
Jeremy can help you go more green, can help you save money.
He's helping a lot of businesses save money by going LED. Just to think about the fact of going LED, that's the new thing to do. You know, and we don't think about it. We get lost in time, and hey, let's catch you up, baby. Let's catch you up.
It's what the cool kids are doing.
That's right. Call Jeremy Johnson at 655-1283. Who's excited to talk to Terrell Owens? I've always loved T.O.
I don't know that I can say I've always loved T.O. T.O.'s one of those guys that if he is on your team,
Sure.
you love him. If he's
Yeah.
not, you hate him. And
I think he's the best athlete of all, the best athletic receiver of all time with the worst hands. That's a weird thing to say, but he would just absolutely dominate and then lead the league in drops.
yeah, Yeah, I
when he
think
played
that's
for the
fair.
Cowboys.
I think that's a very fair assessment.
Yeah.
I think so. There's an article that was put out this week. T.O. came out and said, Caitlin Holroyd said that T.O. says that he could finish with 1,000 yards, be a 1,000-yard receiver at age 42. And
he's probably still shredded as ever too.
oh, I'm sure he is.
There would be interviews, and he'd be sitting there doing push-ups, sit-ups in the middle of an interview with his shirt off, just absolutely ripped.
Yeah, I'm doing.
Look just like Dallas.
I think you need glasses. But the thing that makes an elite athlete is their talent, is their ability,
Yeah.
but it's also their mindset.
Right.
And T.O. still has that mindset. Now, could he come in and help a team? Probably not. I wouldn't think so.
Sure.
But he's still got. I follow him on Facebook. He's one of my favorites to follow on Facebook and Twitter. The guy says what he's thinking,
And he
so
would
it's
be
always
very
entertaining.
entertaining.
It's very entertaining, and I think the guy has some demons.
Right.
If you
Sure.
watch him, he's had some problems. So, and that leads us into a big question: should T.O. be in the Hall of Fame?
I think he should. If you
Well-
look at if you well, it depends. I mean, if you keep it on the field and you look at statistics, absolutely. If you counter in the fact that maybe some off the field stuff was not Hall of Fame status, or the fact that he showboated and ate popcorn in the middle of games and ripped offensive coordinators and whatnot, then maybe not. That's kind of a controversial deal.
Well, and it leads you to the question of how much should off-the-field antics play into the Hall of Fame decision?
Right.
And I think it has to play some.
It has to play a
Because
little
it's a respected group. It's a
It is.
respected position.
It
And the
is.
thing that makes a Hall of Fame the Hall of Fame is the fact that it's hard to get into.
It is difficult to get into. Hey,
So-
we're going to continue talking T.O. Call in right now. We have a trivia question by Kobe. 868-6100. Call 868-6100. 1-800-869-5927. Again, 868-6100. Call in. We've got a Kobe trivia prize to give away. $20 to Kobe Hibachi and Sushi, which my wife was about to go to
Yeah.
earlier.
As I was walking out the door, I hear
She was
I
heading
asked her,
over
where
there.
are you
She
going? She's at
loves
Kobe's.
that happy hour sushi. She just is infatuated with it. So call in. We'll talk. We're going to ask you a running back question,
I'm going to talk some running
which
backs.
is the theme of the day. And so call in 868-6100 and get a chance to win some trivia.
We have some callers calling in. While we're waiting on that one to come through, here's who's going into the Hall of Fame this week: Brett Favre, Marvin Harrison, Tony Dungy, Kevin Green, Orlando Pace, which that one it's about time, Eddie DeBartolo, Kenny Stabler, and Dick Stanfield. And so a good class going in. Brett
Sure.
Favre, definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. Orlando Pace, I don't know how he hasn't gotten in.
Right.
To me, he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
So we've got Cliff on the line, and Cliff, are you ready for your question and try to win you some
Sure.
Cody? All right, Cody's going to read you your question.
Thanks for calling in, sir.
Yeah.
All right, Cliff. Again, this question is brought to you by Kobe, the best hibachi and sushi you will ever find in Springfield, Missouri, or in other states as well. They are located on National and Montclair here in Springfield. The question is, Cliff, which running back holds the record for the most rushing touchdowns in a single season? Which running back has the most rushing touchdowns in a single season? Is it A, Eric Dickerson? Is it B, Barry Sanders? C, Adrian Peterson? Or D, LaDainian Tomlinson?
Most touchdowns in a season.
By a running back. Yes, sir. That's right, Cliff. What's your thoughts?
Well, I'm starting to think that it's Adrian Peterson, but I want to say Dickerson.
Well, we need you to say one or the other. I love what you're trying to do there.
I'm going to go with Eric Dickerson.
Unfortunately, that is incorrect.
That
Cliff.
is incorrect.
We're very sorry. Thank you very much for calling the show. We wish you a great weekend.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you, sir.
We've got Roger on the line. Roger, do you need us to reread the question, or have you got this?
I do.
Okay. Go ahead and reread that question for Roger.
All right, Roger. Which running back holds the record for the most rushing touchdowns in a single season? Again, the running back with the most rushing touchdowns in a single season. Is it Barry Sanders, Adrian Peterson, or LaDainian Tomlinson?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry, Roger.
Daly Tomlinson.
You are
Daniel
absolutely correct. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. Roger, way to step to the plate and slam dunk a touchdown, sir.
That's my life.
All right.
Can you tell me how many he had? For
I do not.
I don't even know.
28. He had 28 rushing touchdowns that year. 3
In one
passing
season?
touchdowns in one season in 2006.
Oh my goodness.
Nobody else has even really come close. There's been a couple guys, but nobody's come close.
That
Roger,
is huge.
that's a great guess. Roger, who should be in the Hall of Fame that's not in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, good question. I'd go on the baseball side and say Pete Rose.
Okay,
I would
see?
completely agree with you.
See, that's where Cody and I we had that argument this week, and I didn't know whether to bring Pete Rose up.
You gotta bring him up, man.
Yeah, I'm torn on him. The only reason I'm torn on Pete Rose is it's in every clubhouse in America. Now, you can argue that
The fact
a lot
that
of
you
people
can't
do
gamble
it,
on the
that
game.
you can't gamble on the game.
You can't permanently ban someone for making a mistake.
I-
And I'm sure I'll
I-
get some flack for that.
I
But you know
can't
what?
argue
Roger
that
and I
either.
are, we see things eye to eye, man.
Roger, thank you. If you'll stay on the line, Dwayne's going to get some of your information and enjoy some Kobe.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah,
That was
thank
a
you.
great guess by Roger. LaDainian Tomlinson, 28 touchdowns in 2006. Again, that trivia question was brought to you by Kobe, Hibachi, and Sushi over on Montclair and National, just south of Battlefield and National. Go over and check them out. The owner's Don. Tell him the Fantasy Professionals sent you. He'll hook you up with some of the best hibachi and sushi in the entire city.
Yeah, and the one thing, and we're going on and on about Kobe, and we apologize, but one thing that I love about Kobe is I am my wife gets on to me because I don't eat real sushi, the raw stuff and all that stuff.
I get it fried.
I love it fried, and they will fry anything you want, and of course not anything you want, but pretty much anything in the restaurant you ask them to fry it, they'll do it, and so that we enjoy that a lot. We want to talk more about sports Hall of Fame snubs. Give us a call, 868-6100, 868-6100. A couple names that stand out to me. Of course, we talked about T.O. Kurt Warner, the greatest show on turf quarterback, is not in the Hall of Fame. Roger Craig, the running back that was with T.O., or I'm sorry, with not T.O., with Jerry Rice, Joe Montana. Roger Craig put up Hall of Fame numbers consistently, has 2 or 3 Super Bowl rings, and is not in the Hall of Fame. Who else belongs in the Hall of Fame? 868-6100.
You got some good names there. I mean, you got you got John Lynch, you got a little Ty Law, Jimmy Johnson coming in. The dude could have won as many Super Bowls as he wanted in Dallas.
But was he there long enough? That's,
Probably
I think,
not.
my only
Probably
thing
not.
with Jimmy Johnson.
He got out early while he wanted to, and while his Jerry Jones sanity was still there.
Yeah, I think, and that's one thing. That's when I really started. I'm not a huge Jerry Jones fan. I mean, he's built a great team, but man, how many Super Bowls could him and Jimmy won together? I mean, Barry Switzer won the next year, and
Right.
so I don't know. Another name that came up for me was Torrey Holt. You've got the guys and Isaac Bruce, both greatest show on turf, never not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean that's a good list there. You got some guys that are arguably super close to that. I mean, you really do. I mean, that could be several weeks of shows with all the guys that are potentially. You could even incorporate Pete Rose or whoever else.
We've got Aaron on the line. Aaron, who do you have that should be in the Hall of Fame?
Well, I really I've got a question actually, a fantasy
Okay.
question. I mean, talking about all this is great, but let's talk some fantasy.
I'm in. Let's do it.
So I'm in an IDP league. Have been for several years, and it seems like every year it's just completely a crapshoot as far as who the top IDP performers. I mean, obviously it's usually linebackers,
Right.
but
It is.
it's sometimes a crapshoot. Do you guys have any insight in draft strategy around IDP? And I'll hang up and listen to your comments. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. Thank you very much for the call. That's a great question because that's a tougher that's a tougher position to rank. But you know what? It's actually becoming more popular. I know one of the guys that I've been seeing that I think will surprise some people. Is some guys that I love to draft in those positions. I mean, you got Michael Bennett from Seattle, you got Aaron Donald from LA, and we've got obviously J.J. Watt's the #1 ranked IDP player overall.
Mhm.
But that's a great question because that's a lot of people don't play IDP leagues. I've done some IDP drafts,
Yeah.
I don't love them, but it's a lot of fun, and it incorporates some extra players into the league.
You are asking two Cowboys fans to pick a linebacker. We haven't had a healthy linebacker play all year, and as long as I can remember.
Chandler Jones out in Arizona. I mean,
Yeah.
real quick, I'll give you my top 50. I'm not going to give you all 50. I'm going to give you 5. Top 5. I just wanted to mess with Dallas there for a second. Top 5 defensive linemen this year. J.J. Watt, number 1. Khalil Mack, number 2. Carlos Dunlap, number 3. Robert Quinn, number 4. And Aaron Donald, number 5. That's my quote-unquote top 5 defensive linemen for 2016. Hopefully that helps. Thank you very much for the call, Aaron.
Aaron, thank you for the call. My number 1 pick is Dr. Papagayo. It was one of the worst segues in the history of sports radio. Dr. Papagayo is our dentist. He's over at 640 West Republic Road, Suite 124, 883-8448. Go in and see Dr. Papagayo. I read a letter this week on Facebook. One of his clients wrote in.
This was an impressive letter.
They said, I just want to drop you a quick note to thank you for all that you do. You are the best dentist I've ever had, and I am forever grateful that I happened to find you. The team you have at your office is like family, and you all work so well and professionally together. Thank you for helping with my root canal and crown. You are so generous, and I truly appreciate that. I read that letter, and I thought, you know what? I couldn't say it any better. So give Dr. Papagayo a call, 883-8448. Tell him the Fantasy Professional sent you.
Everyone needs a dentist. Call him. Give him that number one more time. Call and go see him. I'm serious. He is phenomenal. It's a best dentist experience I've ever had.
883-8448.
We will be right back after a short break. You're listening to the Fantasy Professionals.
Hey, don't the Cowboys have that guy who's on the Cody?
Sean Lee? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
What's up, guys? Thanks for joining. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Please share this live video. Please share it so that some of your friends. Now, if you don't want them to beat you in fantasy, don't share it.
that's
But if you want to help out people that aren't as good as you at fantasy football, you want to
less
share.
fortunate.
Help a brother out.
How about my IDP knowledge? How about my individual defensive player fantasy football knowledge? How impressive was that?
That was nice. That was nice. That was a shit saver. All right, we got Mitch Sanderson.
There he is. There he is. We're gonna get into. We're gonna do James. We're gonna do James construction, and we're gonna do the beginning. Then we do first national.
$2 off admission to the evening race at Lucas Oil Speedway. It all happens Saturday from 11 to 1 at Casey's General Store in Wheatland. Meet Joe DeVal, see his car, then save $2 on admission to Top Flight Racing at Lucas Oil Speedway. See you there.
Experience an unforgettable journey at Bike MS. With more than 100 extraordinary rides across the country, you can find yours at bikems.org. Join us September 10th and 11th for the
Awesome.
Don't just ride, Bike MS.
Something cool we could do for
was
this.
the big S-Class from the 90s. Beautiful. Friends that
SL. All of the SLs. I've been watching those since I was a kid.
I think the 1971 SC was the first Mercedes that just blew me away. Everyone remembers the first time they saw it, and the day they began to long for a Mercedes-Benz of their own. Well, that day may be a lot closer than you think. With a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz, you can experience the luxury and safety Mercedes-Benz is famous for at a price you can afford. Beautiful SUVs, sedans, coupes, and convertibles that are factory certified and covered by an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 3 years, so you can drive without a worry for as far as you like. And during the certified pre-owned sales event on August 31st, you can receive 2 years of complimentary prepaid payments and 0.99% APR financing on select models, available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. You've waited long enough.
Hey, is Mitch on the line?
We're gonna do a quick ad before Mitch.
Call 1-800-FOR-MERCEDES for details about costs and terms.
Imagine it's 6 o'clock on a Tuesday and you realize you forgot to tune in to Sports Talk on location and played against
What do you guys think? Comment below who is not in the Hall of Fame, baseball or football, that should be there. Tell us that. And does anyone play in IDP, Individual Defensive Player Leagues? Do you play in any IDP fantasy football leagues? I know it's become a little more prevalent in recent years.
I'm Brian with Secure Insurance Group.
Secure Insurance Group, and again, thanks, Dwayne.
Missouri.
Dude is the man.
Agency, we shop the top-rated life insurance carriers, so you always get the lowest rate. If you're a 40-year-old, a $500,000 10-year level term is as low as $16 monthly. With term rates lower than you've ever been, there's no reason not to have the protection you need. Call Brian and secure a free quote.
Friday at 1, yeah.
Oh, someone called in?
No, I called over there to get his number. Well, somebody's number.
Yeah.
And I think that's who it was.
Coming back home, baby.
Welcome back to the Fantasy Professionals. I'm your host, Cody Askins, sitting here with the one, the only Dallas Keithley of Secure Insurance Group.
Very nice. Great question by Aaron. And that is, I'll be really, really honest, that's something I got to learn more about, is IDP leagues.
It's become more prevalent in recent years.
I've done mock drafts, but I've never played in an IDP league.
Right. You know what else has become more prevalent in recent years?
Well,
Mr. James from James Construction.
You have got to put on a class on segues because I'm just blown it today.
Kenny James from James Construction builds homes, barns, complete remodels, home repair, new construction, roofs, skid steer service, anything you can think of that is construction related. I've seen some cabins, Dallas. I've seen some homes that he's built. I've seen some pole barns. I even helped him. Believe it or not, I don't have an ounce. I guess I got an ounce. I work hard, but I helped him build a barn back when I was in high school. I didn't really help with the barn much. I just removed some nails and stuff. But yeah. So call Kenny James today. If there's any construction-related need between Rogersville and West Plains, Kenny is your guy. He's been doing it for, gosh, going on 20 years, if not a little longer. Call Kenny, 926-9139. Please, if you have a construction need, a remodel need, a home need, a barn need, Kenny's got his own team of construction specialists and construction professionals that do a phenomenal job. They are quick. They are not as expensive as most people would think. Truthfully.
I did construction for a while. I always wanted to get on a t-shirt. I do it nice because I do it twice. That is not Kenny James' motto. As a matter of fact, I know Kenny spends a lot of time fixing a lot of other people's mistakes. So if you've got something that has been done and you don't like it, give Kenny a call. He'll come do it right.
He's very picky. Call Kenny James at James Construction today, 926-9139.
On the line, we have one of the biggest show contributors, as is obvious by all. I think we read 2 articles today by the one, the only Mitch Sanderson. Mitch, how you doing?
Great, guys. How you doing?
We are doing phenomenal. Thank you for coming on. Mitch Sanderson is with The Score. If you guys do not regularly, if you do not have the Score app on your phone, and that's simply The Score, you need to get the Score app on your phone. It updates me and talks to me more than pretty much anybody else I know.
Hey, Mitch, do you know, this is Cody, hey, Mitch, do you know where I got where I actually looked up the NFL schedule and the Hall of Fame games? It was Green Bay against Indianapolis. What app do you think I used to look that up?
I bet you used our app there.
You are exactly right. I've looked at 100 apps. Yours is the best by far. I'm dead serious.
I have 2 sports apps on my phone, Fox Sports Midwest because I'm a Cardinal fan, and The Score. That's all I've got. So
I use it for all games.
Appreciate the praise, guys.
Hey, no problem. Well, we are getting closer, Mitch, and we are talking running backs today. We've been looking forward to this show. We kind of tried to save them for last because we're old school, and we love us some running backs.
Yeah.
And what we were wanting to do, Cody and I, we've been going the last couple weeks. We've ranked our top 5 QBs. We've ranked our top 5 tight ends, wide receivers. We're going to rank our top 5 running backs, and we would like you to kind of input and judge and tell us who, really, if I win it, I think it will be a sweep.
Yeah. Hopefully this will build you some confidence going into the season, because I don't know when the last time you beat me in our league. Well, once in the last 12 years.
We'll have a show on that next week. But so I didn't prepare you for this, Mitch. I didn't tell you what we were doing today, so I hope that's okay with you. And then we'd like to talk. We'd like to talk some sleepers. We'd like to, kind of let us know who you think is going to have the breakout year. Who's going to be the Devontae Freeman of the year? And I'll go first. My number 1, and this is really hard because 3 weeks ago there was an outstanding number 1. I think no questions asked. It was Le'Veon Bell. He's not my number 1. I've got to go. I'm going to surprise a little bit. I've got to go David Johnson.
Are we just doing standard or PPR?
I'm doing PPR.
Okay.
For PPR, I'm doing David Johnson. For
Okay.
standard, I got to go Todd Gurley.
Okay.
All right.
We actually have it. I've got Gurley number 1 on both. So
Number 1 on both.
I
Okay.
do.
I like David Johnson. Your thoughts, Mitch?
I'm a little cautious about David Johnson. For one, I think all the talk has been great. How we finished last season was phenomenal, but I'm always very cautious about players who finish one season strong, whether it be their rookie year or their breakout year, and then there's a lot expected of them the next year. I'm not super confident that David Johnson is going to get all the looks that he got last year because they got a whole healthy backfield again. Chris Johnson's back there, Andre Ellington's back there. I think all the talk has been that David Johnson has been great, but I'd be a little cautious to put him number 1 overall. I think he's about number 4 on my list, but I think he's got that potential. Absolutely, he's set up in a fantastic offense, but I'm just very cautious that defenses have adjusted and they didn't know what to expect last year, and now they've got enough tape to kind of figure him out a little better. So I think he's going to have a big year, but I would proceed with caution on David Johnson.
I'm throwing caution to the wind, baby. I'm going all the way with him. Cody, who you got number 2? Let's start PPR.
Okay, I had Gurley 1. I have. I think I'm not even surprised Dallas. Maybe Mitch as well. I'm seeing so many different running backs there that are close, but I'm the guy that takes the risk, takes a little bit of a gamble. So I dropped Le'Veon Bell 1 spot on my PPR rankings. I did. I got him 2.
I can't put him. I can't do that.
I think I'm still waiting to hear back on the appeal, whether or not that goes through. I think he may have the games reduced,
right,
which would kind of change things. Right now, 4 games for me at the quarter of the season, that's a little too much. If it got reduced to 1 or 2 games, I think Bell comes back up there, especially with how volatile the first 2 weeks of the fantasy season are going to be. There's going to be breakout guys, so you can kind of make up for a loss of Le'Veon Bell. But
right,
4 games, that's a quarter of your season of the NFL season. That's even more of your fantasy season. So that's just a little too much for me. But if the appeal comes back positive for Bell, that could change.
It can't. Yeah, I'm kind of estimating a 2-game suspension at the most. I don't. Honestly, I couldn't see him doing more than that.
I can't imagine him going more than 2 games. I'm surprised it hasn't already come out, to be real honest with you. Do you know, and this is, we're putting you on the spot, do you know when his appeal is scheduled for?
It's scheduled, Mike Tomlin said it's scheduled around August 18th, so next 2 weeks or so.
That's why we love Mitch Sanderson. Yeah, you ask a question, you get an answer.
If you go to the app and you sign up for all the alerts for all the teams, you can find out stuff like that too. But for that one, I think it'll be closer. I mean, it should still be ahead of when most people draft in their fantasy league, so that there should be time to figure out where you want to put him. But I think we're still a couple weeks away.
Sure.
Very nice. For number 2, I had, of course, David Johnson in PPR. Or I'm sorry, in standard, I had David Johnson. Number 3 in PPR, I have Mr. Lamar Miller. I like him there.
Lamar Miller.
Who?
Yeah, Lamar Miller from Houston.
Wait, Mitch, what did he say? Well, what's up, buddy? Who is that?
Come on now. Give me some love.
I think Lamar Miller, he's a breakout candidate for sure. I think just like I say with David Johnson, we're a little cautious, or he's kind of like a rookie where he's coming to a new team or not 100% sure how much action he's going to get or how well he's going to fit into that system. I think he's a player to keep an eye on during the preseason, just to see how is he feeling. But I think he was incredibly underused in Miami.
No question.
Really criminally underused. I think that was a big reason why they went with a new coaching staff, new front office look there. But he's got all the potential in the world. He can play. He's almost like a younger Arian Foster. He's got that potential, anyways. He didn't get to use his potential in Miami, so we're still, I think, still out on Miller. That's again a little higher for me. I think I put Adrian Peterson still ahead of him.
Too much coffee for Dallas.
I told you, I'm like the dad that feels bad for his kid, and I want to let him win one. Who do you have at number 3 there, Cody?
I have Adrian Peterson, number 3.
Very nice. In standard, I've got AP. Standard, I've got AP.
Yeah, I think Adrian Peterson, he's 31 now, but I think you still need to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's still in great shape. I almost, like, that season that he missed, I'd almost consider him a 30-year-old right now, and that offensive line's gotten better. I think that whole offense is really
absolutely
going to improve now that they've moved back indoors. But I think Adrian Peterson, until he shows that he doesn't have it anymore, I think you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. You can't really take him out of that top 3.
No, not at all.
Yeah, no,
not
at
all. Not at all, Dallas. Not at all.
You know, his age scares me, of course. I think I can't disagree with you though. I'm trying to. Cody always tells me I'm the old man, always looking at the old people. So I'm trying to go young here. I'm trying to bring on the new generation, but it will not surprise me if AP comes out and rushes for 1,200 yards this year.
Let's just kick out the elders of the NFL. That's fine. No.
You've served your purpose. Time to head down.
What was your? Did you give us your 4?
Number 4, I've got Bell across the board, standard and PPR.
Okay.
And how far should you let Le'Veon Bell slip in the draft?
Not much farther.
I mean, if he's there.
I think on my list right now, he's with the 4-game suspension, he's 6 on
Okay.
my list. But
I can see that with 4.
Again, I think that suspension could get reduced, and if so, I expect to move him up. I'm especially in PPR league. He might move to. If he's going to miss 1 or 2 games, I might keep him in the top 2, just because the loss of Martavis Bryant there. He's going to see more action. Antonio Brown's going to see more action, especially in the passing game.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the one thing that Bell being suspended does, that locks up Antonio Brown, PPR, probably in standard, as the number 1 player overall, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It definitely would. So you said 4. You said
I got
Marshall
Bell.
Faulk? Oh,
Yeah.
Bell. Okay.
Yeah, going back to the old,
Down
really
at
old
number,
guys.
Down at number 4.
And then number 5 PPR, I've got AP. Number 5 standard, I've got Lamar Miller. Again.
Okay. I've got
right.
Ezekiel Elliott 4 and David Johnson 5.
Wow.
I really like Ezekiel Elliott. He's somebody I'm very excited about.
Boom, boom.
I'm usually pretty cautious about rookies, but he looks so good, and that offensive line is fantastic. I think if Romo and Bryant can stay healthy, we can see a similar season that DeMarco Murray had a few years ago. I personally think that Elliott's a more talented player than DeMarco Murray. It's going to be hard to see how much he can translate in his first season.
Mm-hmm.
But I think of that top maybe 6 backs, he's the one I'm most excited about anyways. I don't know if I put him number 1, but he's the one that I've got a lot of hope that he's going to do some special things this season. I like Lamar Miller. I think anytime a guy like that changes teams and gets another shot is interesting to see. And we really seen about half the season of David Johnson. So those 3 are really exciting. But Elliott is a rare prospect.
Yeah.
And I think he's he's got the best offensive line in football. So that can only be, there can only be so many bad things that happen, I guess.
Sure.
Right now, I think he's a little linked up, but it's early training camp. He's being held out. I wouldn't take any little nicks and guys sitting into practice too seriously at this point of the year, because teams don't want to risk an injury.
No, what I'm hearing is that Mitch Sanderson is a Cowboys fan this year.
Yeah, I don't like to throw my support behind teams too much. Try to keep some journalistic integrity. But I think they're gonna. That offense has a lot of potential. Now they are also 1 or 2 injuries away from last season, from repeating last season.
I think they're either going to be 8-8 or they're going to win the Super Bowl. One of the 2. It's that's right.
One thing you got to remember for them too is their defense is not on par with the offense right now. Really no pass rushers. So in terms of fantasy wise, they're very exciting. But I don't know, in terms of Super Bowl hopes, I really think that defense has a ways to go before they think of the Super Bowl.
We just got to keep the offense on the field. Real quickly, give us a sleeper. Who should we But I'm interested. Who's somebody that you should take in later rounds that's just going to tear it up this year?
One guy I've seen slip down the boards is Giovanni Bernard.
Okay.
The Bengals. I think him and Frank Gore I've seen go very close to each other, 5th or 6th rounds in some mock drafts, and to me both those guys are going to be elite backs. But Bernard, especially his strength in the passing game, the Bengals losing their top 2 receivers and not having Eifert, and possibly now losing their second tight end as well. He's going to get a lot of targets, especially in PPR leagues. I think he's going to be a big earner.
Right.
Very nice.
I'm kind of hesitant to call him a sleeper because I think he should be going higher, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I chose Charles Sims, and he said Thomas Rawls. So yeah, some great picks.
He's it sounds like Mitch has crowned me the champ today with
I
the
think
whole.
so.
I was kind of feeling that.
I gave it up.
Mitch from the Score, thank you so much for joining the show, sir.
All right, thanks for having me.
Great to have you again, sir. Hope to have you on very, very soon. Once again, thank you so much, Mitch Sanderson from the Score.
Very nice. We've got. I want to tell you about our bank, First National Bank. We've been banking there for years. 4108 South National. We've got 2 branches there in Clinton. 417-823-9600. My F&B online. Go in there. Talk to Aaron. Talk to Natasha. Talk to Angie. They will. They'll treat you right. They'll answer their phones like a local bank should. We can't say how much we appreciate them helping us out with the show.
They're awesome. They're such a great bank. Check out First National. Go over there off South National. They are our banks, and we love them. We really, really do. You are listening to the Fantasy Professionals. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Wayne Glenn. Cherry Tree Homes. Mike Davis brings you.
Those are probably too close together now, huh?
Cherry Tree Homes.
Is that
While others build a house, Mike Davis will build you a home. Land,
don't have much time
home,
to get
financing available
Right.
all in one place.
We'll go into
www.cherrytreehomes.net. Mike Davis from Home Mattress brings you a one-stop place for building the home of your dreams. You pick where you want to live, your school district,
Yeah.
your
Talk about
home
some sleepers.
financing is all lined up.
Somebody to avoid. Who should they avoid? Hey, do you need to hit that on the phone? Is that Arkansas?
We at Missouri Storm Shelters understand the #1 obstacle to owning a safe room is.
Thank you guys for joining. Thanks for watching. Please share this. Please share this. Monty McCurley is commenting about some sleepers. Alex Collins from Seattle. And Jonathan Williams from Buffalo. That dude is a Arkansas homer, ain't he? Thanks, Monty. Appreciate you tuning in and commenting, brother. Always good to hear from you.
To learn more about our no-cost financing offer, visit MissouriStormShelters.com.
Let's get to the business minute by.
We are a nation of overachievers. We didn't just invent the TV. We jumbo-sized it and hung it in a football stadium. Now you can watch football while you're watching football. So why have we settled for mitts that cover up that breath instead of getting rid of it? We deserve better. Like breath savers, it's a high-def Hail Mary catch of a mitt with Nutrizin, which is scientifically proven to neutralize bad breath. Breath savers, it's the overachieving mint.
I'm Brian with Secure Insurance Group. Secure is an independent agency located in Springfield, Missouri. As an independent agency, we shop with top-rated life insurance carriers, so you always get the lowest rate. If you're a 40-year-old, a $500,000 10-year level term is as low as $16 monthly. With term rates lower than they've ever been, there's no reason not to have the protection you need. Call Brian at Secure for a free quote, 883-9300, or email me at brian.askins@secureig.com.
Thank you guys.
Our website is secure.
Appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. We are just got a couple more minutes. About 3 minutes before we wrap up. We had Mitch Sanderson from the Score. If you don't have the Score to track fantasy football stats,
Come on, you're better than that.
scores, they will help you score. Now I use them literally for all MLB, all NBA, all NFL to track live games and games and just checking scores, checking stats. I really do enjoy the Score. Plus you can plug in your fantasy team and all your players and they'll give you alerts. I use them because I click the big star on the top right of the NFL screen and it will actually alert me every time there is a breaking news or a touchdown or a scoring play during Sundays, during the NFL week, which I love. Because as I'm beating up on Dallas and getting constant alerts, I love it.
Welcome back to the Fantasy Professionals. I'm your host, Cody Askins, sitting here with Dallas Keithley. Thanks for listening, and thanks for tuning in.
Thank you also to JBG Painting. Jake Gillette over there, 825-4919. If you mention that you heard it on this show, they'll give you 20%. He upped it. He added it 15.
20% off.
Took it up to 20% of a painting job.
Dude painted our whole office.
You take your wife to Kobe while Jake Gillette is painting your office or your home. That's a win-win. There's no doubt about it.
Your wife's gonna love you.
Both ways, yeah. And so give Jake a call, 825-4919. Come in, make it look like a new place, give you a facelift on your home or office, 20% off if you mention that you heard it on the Fantasy Professionals. Guys, we are running out of time. We've had a great show today. Wanted to continue talking a little bit about sleepers in the NFL when it comes to running backs. We both, Cody and I, before the show, picked Thomas Rawls. Seattle is going to run the ball.
Sure.
And with
that's an offense. That's an offense set up for his success. Hey, real quick, who do you have as potentially being overrated this season?
Potentially being overrated. That's a great question.
I've got C.J. Anderson. He's around the 8 to 12 mark on all rankings.
Yeah.
He killed me last year. I drafted him at the end of the first round. C.J. Anderson from the Broncos.
Yeah, and I think everybody's going to put 8 in the box and make the Broncos throw the ball this year because Mark Sanchez sitting back there.
I don't see it getting any better without Peyton. I really don't.
Another one that comes to mind: Devontae Freeman, Mark Ingram. I've never been a big fan. I think Devontae Freeman had a breakout year. They're going to see him. They're going to. Yeah,
sure.
I think so.
That's good. Thank you everybody for listening today. We want to make sure that if you have a life insurance need or a Medicare need or you just want to shop your insurance, please think of us, Cody and Dallas at Secure Insurance Group, and please call our office, 883-9300, and ask for Cody or Dallas. We want to thank our sponsors of our show. We've got Kobe, 417 Lighting, First National Bank, Dr. Papagayo, James Construction, and JBG Painting. Thanks for listening to the Fantasy Professionals, and have a great weekend.
Thank you guys for checking us out. Thanks for watching. Please share this video. Thank you for watching today. We just ended our show. Let us know what you think. Comment. Please share.
The trivia one doesn't go fast enough.
Have a awesome weekend. Thanks, Monty. He says great show. Appreciate the compliments. Thank you all for tuning in. Dallas, any final words as we close out the live show?
Guys, we are who we are because of you.
You guys are the best fans in the world. Now, thanks for watching. Please like, please share, and always have an incredible weekend as football starts Sunday.